this video, I'd like to show you guys how I made this Christmas sweater. Let's go! First thing you're going to want to do is make a pattern for your doll. Now, I just drew on a piece of paper, but I'm sure if you just Google a pattern for Monster High, like a t-shirt, you'll be able to find it. If you really want me to, I can probably post a simple t-shirt pattern. I'm still working on a website, so that'll be a thing in the future, and I'll probably be able to put it on there once I figure out how to make downloadable content, so you can download the pattern. It'll be a simple one. I'll probably put like more extravagant ones for sale or something. Moving on with that, you'll want 2 sleeve patterns, a cuff pattern, and a front and back pattern piece for the sweater. Now, I used a couple of different fabrics, which I used regular cotton and a stretchy type fleece material. Now, I wanted mine to be kind of a ugly air quote Christmas sweater, so I chose very Christmassy patterns, and you can use whatever patterns you'd like. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. So after I have all the pieces cut out, I go ahead and sew on the cuffs to the arms. After the cuffs are sewn, I go ahead and sew the shirt pieces together only on the shoulder parts. It makes it a whole lot easier to add the arms in. Trust me, it just is, instead of sewing up the body and then adding the arms as tubes later. Once the shoulder pieces are sewn, go ahead and flip that piece facing upwards, so good side and all the pattern and is all facing forward. Then you will place your finished sleeve, which means the cuff is all sewn onto it, face down, and have the sleeve part facing the other sleeve. You see what I'm talking about on my screen now. And then just sew one side and then the other. You can sew all the way through, but it's a lot easier to sew from the middle outwards. Once your sleeves are sewn on both sides, go ahead and fold them over, good sides touching, which means pretty pattern side to pretty pattern side, and then go ahead and sew from the cuff all the way down to the bottom. Now, I've only sewn one side because this way the front piece will be sewn together in one strip, and that way I can add the bottom piece, which is like a cuff for the torso, I guess is the best way to describe it. You can skip the step if you want. Technically, if you're working with fleece, you can, because it'll be already a finished edge, but I wanted to add a little more pizzazz, if you will, and then you go ahead and sew up the other side and you're done. And that's only if you're using a stretchy fabric. I decided that the Christmas sweater wasn't Christmassy or ugly Christmas enough, so I took a random small piece of fabric with a little Christmas tree design on it. I cut it out. I cut the Christmas tree out the best that I could and just hand sewed it onto the front. I probably should have done this beforehand. In fact, if you want to add something, do it before you sew the sweater together, because it'll be a whole lot easier. I just did a quick whip stitch to the tree, and I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. It looks hand added. It is, but you know what I'm saying? And then it's time to dress her up. Or I guess dress myself up, because technically this is me dressing up me. Is that weird? Now, I finished this Christmas sweater off with this little end piece. Now, it looks a little bit off because it is. This is the salvage of the fabric. Only reason why I'm showing you is that it's to show you how important it is to pay attention to your pattern pieces and to make sure you cut everything, because it's supposed to look like this, where it's just straight through, but because I didn't... Oh, there goes my hair. Ah! No, just take that off. Because I didn't pay attention, I have this little white strip underneath. But that's okay. This is just a little Christmas sweater, so it's not that big of a deal. And also, I didn't add a collar or an opening in the back. The reason why I did this is because this is a stretchy fleece material, And if I added a backing, I would probably have cut this open a little more and added a hook and eye closure. So if you don't have a stretchy material, which I recommend, a hook and eye would be fine. Just cut it a little open because the bottom should be wide enough to sit at the hips if you're making an oversized sweater. But I can pull this up all the way through and up onto the doll. If you're gonna do this, I wouldn't suggest taking it on and off because it will stretch out the top of the fabric. If you do have a closure, you can add a collar, but I didn't think it was really necessary. So yeah, that's how I made the little sweater. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Of course, you don't have to necessarily make a Christmas sweater, but you can make any type of sweater with this pattern. So I want to wish all of you at home a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, and a happy Kwanzaa. And happy holidays. And if you don't celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or anything like that, I just hope you have a happy day, or week, or month in general. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!